Hi, I'm Tabasum. I'm a cosmetic surgeon, and this is how I work it. I'm going to take you through a typical day of my beauty and wellness routine.
I am ready to head to the office.
On an average day, I can see anywhere from 10 to 25 patients, depending if I'm operating or not. And my patients range anywhere from 20 to 70. So I do both non-surgical and surgical cosmetic procedures. So that includes anything from Botox and fillers and threads all the way up to surgical cellulite removal, liposuction, eyelid lifts, and facelifts and neck lifts. And I also travel throughout the year to plastic surgery and aesthetics conferences for speaking engagements. So I normally wake up by 6 o'clock in the morning.
Good morning. I got an hour before I have to head to the office. It's currently 5:30 a.m.
And one thing that I do that's very important first thing in the morning is I hydrate. I try and drink as much water as I can in the morning so I can get my first pee in before my day starts, because it's very difficult to go to the bathroom when you're operating. So next up, I have to have my morning coffee.
My favorite parts, adding the frothy milk to the coffee. All right, let's go downstairs and get beautified.
It doesn't matter what kind of day I'm having, whether it's OR or patients, I always put makeup on. Typically, I shower the night before and I hydrate. I usually don't shower again in the morning unless it's a very hot summer day, but generally the night before is when I shower.
I'm gonna start my skincare routine, and I love these little cellulose sponges. Get them on Amazon, and as soon as you make them wet, they are good to go. And I love my Lorac Poussey products. This one is their Gentle Foaming Face Wash. Love this thing. And this little sponge is so good because it gives you like a little bit of exfoliation. It just feels so massaging and invigorating in the morning. And I really feel like it brings back the circulation into the face. Dry it off. I've been loving this bee oil serum from The Ordinary, so I just put a little dab of that on first. And I have always loved these Lorac Poussey products. And that is my skincare routine for the morning.
So next up is my makeup routine, and I love long wearing makeup. And the reason is it needs to last. I am seeing patients all day long. I'm in the OR. I don't touch up. I just don't look at my face all day, to be honest with you. And I just want to make sure my makeup lasts, and I think I found the right products for that. So I start with my foundation, which is the Born This Way Matte Concealer from Too Faced. I love this one. It's all day wear, but it still looks like skin. I have my little trusty foundation mixer. And I actually just found this e.l.f. Halo Glow. This is like the best dupe for Charlotte Tilbury's like Flawless Filter. And because this can be a little bit matte and flat, I mix a little bit of this Halo Glow in there just to give me a little bit of light reflectivity without any glitter. And that's about all I use. I've always loved this e.l.f. buffing foundation. I've had $300, $400 brushes, and this is like a $5 brush that I find just as awesome. And I just kind of dab on. And this is my tan color, which I tend to spend more time and money on summer foundations than winter foundations. I will have a winter foundation and then I'll just kind of hang on to that. But for my summer colors, I really love spending the time on summer colors. And I know this seems so strange, but I don't put any foundation on my forehead. And I think that's because I have my surgical caps on or I'll have my loops on, and I just don't put makeup on my forehead. I know, weird. Next up is my concealer. I always conceal my under eyes. I just think you can use a little extra coverage there, especially if you haven't been sleeping. I love these two, the Tarte Shape Tape. I've been using this for years. And recently the Huda Beauty Faux Filter. I tend to just cover the areas that are hollow. Everybody has like a hollow on their under eye, and I cover that. I don't do that V that everybody does. And then I might do a little bit up here just to kind of give you a lift. And then another trick I've kind of learned, especially because I do a lot of eyelid surgeries, everybody wants that lift laterally. They all want that little cat eye thing. Well, you can kind of do it with makeup by taking a lighter foundation and just putting it a little bit right here. And then I put a little bit on the inner side here. And then that blends out really nicely. So next I set my under eyes. I've been really loving this Patrick Starr One Size Beauty. This thing is great. It has amazing coverage and it's just silky. I don't bake. I've never been an under eye baker. I think it makes my eyes look too dry. And then I put it over the upper lids also. So my eyebrow routine is sort of tried and true. I believe it or not, I use hair gel called Got to Be Glue. If you put this on your brows will not move. And I've been doing this a long time. I've had no damage to my brows. I start by taking a little scoop of the hair gel and I put it on my brows with the flat end. And then I kind of go in and I brush them up and out. This gives me a nice laminate effect. I think that's the style right now, and I do love it. You do need to be careful not to look like you stuck your finger in a light socket with this look though. And I do fill in the sparse brows with these brow pens. So I've been really loving these two, the Milani Weekend Brow and the NYX Lift and Snatch. These are two of my favorite. You can buy them in the drugstore, but they are better than almost anything I've tried in the department store. And whatever sparseness I have, I just fill it in. So I've been using the Patrick Star bronzer because it gives you 3 different shades. Because I do eyelid surgeries, sometimes I have to recreate their eyelid creases, and oftentimes as people age, their eyelid crease gets lower. So in order to make it more youthful, you want to lift up that crease in surgery. You can do that with your makeup by putting your contour for that crease above your actual crease. So my actual crease is right here, but I'm putting the contour a little bit above that. Try that out and you're gonna notice your eyes look more lifted. Next up is eyeliner and mascara. This Natasha Denona one is blacker than, I've never seen an eyeliner this black before in a pen. So we're gonna use this. It's really important for me to have this makeup routine, not just for myself, but for my work. I feel better when I'm made up, but also for my work, it is important as a woman to put your best face forward. I do think we are put under more pressure to look better. And I know that when my patients come in, they absolutely love when I'm put together. It makes them feel better and makes them feel more confident that they're gonna be getting the care that they want because they look at my aesthetic and they wanna achieve that as well. So I've been loving blush. Blush is definitely having a moment. In plastic surgery, we look at this sort of things when we do facelifts and eyelid lifts. If you start putting your blush up by your actual zygoma, which is the cheekbone, then you're gonna have more of a lifted look. If you put your blush right in the center, it's gonna give you a very youthful, girly baby doll look. So trust me, I'm loving the moment blush is having. And I am using this one by Dior. I finish everything off with setting spray, and currently the one that I love is the one by Huda Beauty called Resting Boss Face. So I just kind of soak that on the end of the beauty sponge and I dab that in. The next up is lipstick, or for me, I don't really use a lot of lipstick. I'll probably line my lips with a long-wearing lip liner and then put a lip oil over it or a lip balm. The one I'm really liking right now is this Huda Beauty lip contour and the Dior lip oil. So this makeup routine really works for me. It's easy for me to do. It's less than 15 minutes and it lasts me all day long. I don't need to touch up. I don't need to look at my face. I just know this is gonna work on me, and it's transfer proof, sweat resistant, and literally takes me from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. Very easy, very quick, and very reliable. So once my makeup is done, my hair is next. Now, I gotta be honest with you, I cannot spend a lot of time on my hair. My hair kind of needs to be like, I gotta work with whatever's going on. So one thing I found to be amazing for me time and time again is my Dyson hair straightener. I have very textured hair that can be really unruly. And when I use the Dyson hair straightener, it lasts several days, and in the morning when I wake up, I can put a quick comb through it, and if there's some areas that are a little bit bending or curly or textured, I can just run the straight iron through it, and it looks like this, and it lasts all day. Doing this makes it tameable and manageable because I'm wearing a scrub cap and a surgical cap all day long, so I don't want to have hair sticking out of there. So this is my best way to be able to manage it with very little fuss. So for the office, I wear scrubs, but my thing is I wear them in all different colors. I have fuchsia colored, I have red, I have obviously black, but I love color. And so when I am picking out my scrubs, I'm going to pick them out based on how I feel and the color that I feel for that day.
I have like this little sporty skirt and this top, and that's what I'm going to wear into the office. It'll be very easy to change from that to my scrubs and then back out after work is done. Okay, I'm all dressed and I am ready to head to the office.
After I'm done, I tend to just grab my backpack and head to the office, and I tend to walk to the office most days of the week. As soon as I get to the office, I am ready to go, guns blazing. I need to make sure the OR has been set up. I need to make sure my nurse and my medical assistant have everything together. The patient's been checked in. I mean, I walk in and I feel like I'm barking orders at everybody, but everybody loves it and they know that they expect it of me. And so that's sort of how I start my day. I just have to make sure everything is ready to go for the case and nothing is missing. And then after I've made sure everything is set and right before I'm going in to see the patient and take photos, I change into my scrubs and I can put my surgical cap on at that point. I am all ready to get going. I got my surgical gear on and we're ready to start our first OR case of the day. When we're in the OR, especially if we're doing body cases, it's really important for me and my staff to have really great posture and upper body strength and stamina, because very often the patients are sedated and we have to move their bodies for them, especially if we're doing, say, a liposuction or 360 liposuction to the abdomen area. So myself and my staff, we really do try and keep physically fit outside of the operating room. For me personally, yoga helps me a lot to stay stretched and kind of keep limber. Sometimes doing a liposuction is equivalent to a Peloton class. My hands are instrumental in this field. I use it for everything from microsurgery to big operations, and no matter what, I have to keep my nails short, or at least probably as long as they are now. I can't keep them longer than this because it's hard to grasp things on the patient, and it's also hard to wear gloves because when you put the gloves on, you can tear your nails through a glove. So when I'm done with my first case, and in between my cases is when I generally try to get some sort of hydration and protein.
Last case is about 4 hours long, having a quick snack, and then I'm getting back to the OR right after this.
When I'm operating, I tend to be using my elbows a lot, and I can get really bad tendonitis, especially with the liposuction procedure. So I have to stretch in between every case. And the way I do that is I either take my hands all the way out and I pull back like this, or I pull down like this, or I have a little toy that I use that helps me with stretching. So what I do is that really helps pull that tendon and really just break down that lactic acid that builds up in there. So sometimes in between cases or after a few cases, I'll do this. It depends on if I have a really long case. And another thing I like doing is, like with my lower back area, I tend to kind of twist sideways because that really helps loosen up the lower back, because we're all standing all the time, hunching over, and that really helps. And then like with my neck, kind of like using my shoulder blades, keeping them nice and straight, and just like looking. Oh, that feels good. And then looking all the way down. Because as you kind of do the work that we do, the back of your neck gets really tight as well. And doing these stretching really does help me feel more limber and less pain for the next set of cases. My mental switch really happens when I'm done with my OR case. We're usually gowned and scrubbed up. So we have surgical gowns, surgical masks, surgical gloves. And when all that comes off, it's like ripping off your bra at the end of the day. You just rip it off. To me, that kind of mentally prepares me that I'm finished with my operating case. And then when I walk out, I generally, I take my surgical cap off. It can be a little intimidating for people. They see me in that when they're just getting Botox done. It's like, what are you doing to me? And that kind of helps me readjust my mindset that I've just left the operating room and now I'm going in to see a patient in the office. So after I'm done with all my appointments for the day, it's usually around 6 to 7 p.m. at that point. And if I have dinner plans later that day, I would like them to be around 8 o'clock. That way I can have a little bit of a mental reset, because when I'm finished with work, I like to walk home.
All right, that's a wrap for the day at work. We had such an amazing day, and now I'm walking home. And on my walk home, I just sort of like to take it easy. I don't really like to talk to many people. It's almost like my time to decompress, and it's my alone time. And it's kind of like private time. So I'm gonna enjoy myself on my walk home.
Oftentimes I'm going right from work to dinner, and the biggest thing that I found, a huge tip for me, is to plan my outfits ahead of time. If I know I'm going to 3 or 4 dinners that week, I might take some time on the weekend or maybe on Sunday night just to put together some outfits for me so that when I do get home, I can just grab one and go. Because for me personally, it's the outfit that really kills time and always seems to make me late for my dinners. When I touch up my makeup before I go out, I try and do as little as possible because I really like the look of makeup once it's worn in and mixed with your natural oils. So I might put on more under eye concealer, or I might put on some blush, and that's really the extent of it because generally the rest of it has lasted long enough. My evening dinners are a lot of times I'm meeting with other people in the medical and plastic surgery professions, whether it's pharmaceuticals, medical devices, other doctors. I do a lot of speaking nationally, so I'm meeting with a lot of these people after work. I definitely have my social time, but I really reserve my week for dinners that are work-related so I can have a little bit more fun with my friends on the weekends. So after I'm done with dinner, I usually Uber home and get in my apartment, and the first thing I do really is brush my teeth, wash my face, shower, and get ready for bed. Because for me, the breakdown of all the makeup and the grime from the city is really important. I need to be completely clean before I get into bed. I generally try to get to bed before midnight. I don't require a lot of sleep. If I get 6 hours, I'm totally fine. 6 hours to me is plenty of sleep. Some people need more, but for me, if I get 6, I'm fine. So if I'm in bed by midnight and if I'm up at 6 a.m., then that's a good night of sleep for me. I don't wash my hair every night. I have a lot of hair, and I don't think you need to wash your hair every night because it really does strip your hair of natural oils. I mean, unless I'm at the gym or I'm really sweaty or really, like got rained on, I don't wash my hair every night. My nighttime routine is also very simple. I think I spend a lot more time and effort on procedures to help with my skin, so the skincare routine can be simplified. I spend more time taking that makeup off. I use a cleansing oil. I do dual cleansing, so I will strip down my makeup with a cleansing oil. Then I'll wash afterwards. I use my trusty cellulose sponge. I use my La Roche-Posay cleansers. So I do a dual cleansing. After that, I'll use an oil-based serum on my face. The Ordinary makes one called Bee Oil that I love. So at night, I tend to just really keep it very simple. If I feel very dry, I'll use oil or serum on my face. And then I sometimes put a little bit of castor oil on my lashes just to keep them very healthy. Before I go to bed, I really try to wind down. I try and minimize my electronics. I try to put my phone away. I look at the cases I have for the next day so I can mentally prepare for what I'm going to do. I kind of review any emails that I need to at that time. If I'm writing a speech or a lecture or planning for one, this is the time I try to do it. And I also try and have minimal electronics 1 hour before bedtime. I'm still working on that part. I am going to go to bed now. Allure, thank you so much for spending the day with me. It was fun having you.